Hello, welcome to this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Like I mentioned on our basketball episode, my apologies for being out. We had some health issues keeping us out for almost a week or two. Unless you were on the Discord where we did post bets for every day for the last few weeks. So another reason why to join the Discord if you want all the action that we give out, which is a ton, that is going to be there even when we don't have a show. Going to be there. If it's your first time joining us, welcome aboard. If you've been here before over the last few seasons, we've been on the air. Welcome back. Do appreciate it. Like I said, if I can get this health situation, I could be on this thing. It seems like 5 times a day, dropping down plays. Anyway, we've got a ton of bets for NFL Wildcard weekend. Player props there's more player props available because there's less games, and the book doesn't want to miss out on a thing. So you're going to see a lot of first half bets that weren't available before, a lot of defensive props that weren't available before. So there's a lot of stuff going on starting here on Saturday, January 10th. So let's get rocking and rolling as we've got a lot to get through. We'll get started at 4:30 Eastern time on Fox. Rams. A favorite on there to make the Super Bowl for a lot of teams. 12-5 overall is where they finished the season. They come in as the 5 seed, 5-4 on the road. Panthers did back their way in. Let's be honest here. Didn't beat Tampa to get cleared in, so they need the Falcons to win. They get in, but they are hosting a home playoff game, and they're getting 10.5. By the way, this is a game where the Panthers did beat the Rams earlier in the season in Carolina. Carolina's still 5-3 at home coming in. 10.5, 45.5 total here. Like I said, I don't know if the Panthers are going to win this game, but 10.5 points for a defense that can't stop the run. And obviously the Rams, a lot of play action pass. It's based off the fact that they normally can run the ball well. I mean, Kyren Williams had 1,200 plus yards again. Matthew Stafford, 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 8 picks. Obviously a fantastic season. Puka Nacua with 120 plus catches, 1,700 plus yards. Offensively, they're there. The defense is strong. Weather's supposed to be 72 plus degrees, maybe a chance of rain out there in this one as well. But definitely like the Panthers in this particular spot just because of the points. If we were betting a money line in this thing, probably would have to take the Rams here, but I think Panthers plus 10.5 is probably the steal of the weekend besides maybe the Patriots game. Like I said, I thought the line was way off here for Saturday at 4:30 on Fox. So let's give you all the plays here. Panthers plus 2.5 first quarter, 5.5 first half, 10.5 for the game. Coker for the Panthers, 37 plus receiving yards. Chuba Hubbard, 2 plus receptions. Devontae Adams, supposed to be back. Under 4.5 receptions. Rico Dowdle, 47 plus rush yards. If Rico Dowdle can run the ball well, do not be shocked if the Panthers pull off some miracle upset in this particular game as well. It's not easy winning a road playoff game, even when you should. But if you don't stop the run for the Panthers, that opens a lot of stuff up for them. Spites, 5 plus tackles and assists combined. Bryce Young, over 31.5 yards, longest completion. Rosenboom for the Panthers. Love this kid. 8 plus tackles and assists. Devontae Adams under 23.5 yards, longest reception. Puka Nacua under 2.5 rush yards. We normally don't see a rush prop on Puka Nacua. He's been under this number quite a bit. And then Kyren Williams under 14.5 rush attempts. I think they're going to run the ball or try to run the ball. But success-wise, I think they're going to have to pass the ball against that Panthers defense. Not only that, Blake Corum has been getting a lot of run over the last few weeks. It's really cut into Kyren Williams' rush attempts on that one there. All right. So we get through that game. Now we get to the slosh bucket game of the weekend probably here. 8 o'clock Eastern time frame. Prime Video gets a playoff game. Packers-Bears. So the Bears get the 2 seed by losing because the Eagles were nice enough to lose as well. They're at home, Soldier Field. Supposed to be 35 degrees, maybe some snow, maybe some sleet, maybe some rain. Green Bay is actually favored by 1.5. Wow. The Bears played so bad last week. Really? The Packers are only 500 on the road, 4-4-1 coming in. The Bears 11-6, 6-2 at home, 44 and a half total here. We're going to play both sides of this, of the total and then the game. But the one thing we want to kind of stress more than anything else is we like the under here, especially if this turns into a slot fest. Both teams want to run the ball. Both teams are going to continue to try to run the ball. Both teams want to play action pass off the run. In order to do that, they're going to need to run the ball. The Packers are always stubborn. Even if they're getting 3 yards a clip, are going to continue to run. The Bears, for the most part, they're not stubborn about it, but it does set up the rest of that Ben Johnson offense to run the ball. Shocked by the line. I'm surprised the Bears weren't favored by at least a point. I thought it would be the other way around, but okay. I guess no love for the home teams on Saturday in the wild card round. Anyway, Bears, Packers under 7.5 first quarter, 22.5 first half, 44.5 for the game. Bears money line, first quarter, first half and game, a little plus money there for you guys that like the Bears. Loveland for the Bears under 46.5 receiving yards. His number hasn't been that high basically all season. I know he's come on a little bit here as of late, but big number there. Jordan Love under 238.5 passing and rush yards combined. First of all, he doesn't run for a lot, so probably not going to see many rushing yards, but we don't expect to be able to throw the ball a ton either, especially if the weather's bad. Next, let's see. Then we've also got Golden. Remember when all these Packers fans were so excited that the Packers drafted a wide receiver in the first round? Well, it's been a disappointing year for Golden. Under 18.5 rushing and receiving yards combined. Caleb Williams, under 208.5 passing yards. The number's down because the weather. DeAndre Swift, 14-plus rush attempts. Jordan Love, under 30.5 pass attempts. Josh Jacobs, under 97.5 rushing and receiving yards combined. Brooks, under 2.5 tackles and assists. Caleb Williams, under 31.5 pass attempts. Like I said, we're expecting some weather. I hope with the amount of unders that we have, we're hoping we're seeing the weather right on this game on Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Should be an excellent matchup between two NFC North foes who do not like each other. And see who's going to run the ball better, play better defense. If the Packers don't turn it over, they're definitely live here. The Bears were a disappointment last week. I think Ben Johnson might have ripped into them enough where they get stuff going on that one, and Caleb Williams almost became the first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history, ended up at like 3,940 plus yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, was a hell of a run. We'll see if that continues and the Bears get a home playoff win. All right, Sunday the 11th, as we're on to the rest of the wild card weekend. First game up, Bills, Jaguars, a 1 o'clock Eastern time frame in Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. The Jags host the Bills. So the line finally flipped here. The Jags should have been favored. They're 7-2 at home for the season. Bills have really kind of struggled on the road. Trevor Lawrence, congrats, my man. 4,000-yard passing season. Finally got 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Love what he did. James Cook for the Bills side had a fantastic season, kind of a down season for Allen after the year before, but James Cook definitely held up his part. He did have a lot of carries, though, almost 310 carries, but he did put up 1,600-plus rushing yards. Jags defense is legit. The Bills defense, not so much. Jags, 1.5-point favorite, 51.5 total. I think the Jags getting a little disrespect here. I'm surprised this wasn't a field goal, especially with the way the Bills kind of struggled on the road down the stretch. Pretty easy one for us here. Jags money line, first quarter, first half, and game. Strange for the Jags, 1+ reception first quarter. Dalton Kincaid, under 39.5 receiving yards. Trevor Lawrence, 2+ passing touchdowns. Shakir for the Bills, 18+ yards, longest reception. Trevor Lawrence, no interception. Devin Lloyd, under 3.5 tackles. Not tackles and assists, just tackles. Trevor Lawrence has been throwing the ball well in the first half, especially over the last probably 6 to 8 games. 120+ passing yards in the first half. Josh Allen, plus money to have a pick. Brian Thomas Jr., over 20.5 yards, longest reception. Brian Thomas Jr., 43 plus receiving yards. Hawes, 4+ receiving yards and over 2.5 yard longest reception. Basically, for Hawes, we need one catch for 5 yards or 4 yards, and it covers both on that one there. All right. Sunday continues. We get to the 4:30 Eastern time frame. 49ers, Eagles in Philly. Big line here for the 49ers. I mean, 49ers were 7-2 on the road with the ragtag McMuffins that they had, 12-5 overall. Better record than the Eagles. Eagles only 11-6, 5-3 at home. I understand they kind of gave away the game at Lincoln Financial Field. Supposed to be in the 40s in this one, weather not too bad. Jalen Hurts, decent season. Christian McCaffrey, another monster. He got used way too much, over 400 touches again for him. I don't know how many times San Francisco is going to learn. If you give him 400 plus touches, the next season is probably going to be trouble. Devontae Smith did lead the Eagles with a little over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns, 77 receptions. It wasn't a banner year for the Philly offense, but one thing Philly has in spades is defense. They have some serious dudes back there on the defensive side of the ball. That's where we think the difference is going to be in this particular game here against San Fran. Not saying Brock Purdy can't handle a monster defense, but he really hasn't in the past. So this game here, one thing to watch out. It's 6. It was 5.5 at a couple books. 44.5 total. It's Eagles and under for us on this one. Eagles -0.5 first quarter. 3 first half, 5.5 for the game. Under 7.5 total first quarter. Under 22.5 first half. Under 44.5 for the game. Cooper DeJean, 5+ tackles and assists. Devontae Smith, under 4.5 receptions. Juwan Jennings normally doesn't catch a ball in the first quarter. Seems to be maybe second quarter, but definitely second half becomes more of a factor. Under 6.5 receiving yards first quarter. Under 19.5 yards longest reception. Is that Eagles defense loves to keep everything in front of them. Christian McCaffrey, under 5.5 receptions. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of time for Purdy to throw a little flare. I think he's going to have to launch the ball quickly down the field. Jalen Hurts, no interception. A.J. Brown, 24+ yards, longest reception, or over 23.5 yards on his longest reception. I think he'll get one down the field shot is what we're anticipating there. Maybe even for a touchdown. But in a game we're going under, we're not going to really play any anytime touchdowns anyway. All right, next game up. This will finish off Sunday. 8 o'clock Eastern time frame, NBC and Peacock. Chargers travel to Foxborough to play the Patriots. So Patriots finish off 14-3, the number 2 seed overall in the AFC, 6-3 at home. By the way, they were undefeated on the road. Congratulations to the Patriots for that. 11-6 Chargers here in this one, 5-3 on the road. This should be an absolute slugfest. Both teams want to run the ball. Both defenses can stop the run. Drake May had a fantastic season, almost 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks. Justin Herbert got hurt again, but is a man amongst boys and continues to play even when he's hurt like all craziness. This game's going to be a rock'em sock'em robot type of game. They're going to try to hit each other in the mouth. The Patriots, though, only being a 3.5 point favorite here, I thought was kind of a slap in the face, to be really honest. At home, the way that they have played, the only game they really lost down the stretch was to the Bills, right? So, which is one of those games they gave away. And it was kind of one of those, ever since that happened, they're not going to give away any games. Henderson, 900 yards in his rookie season on the ground. Diggs did have over 1,000 yards, but was pretty quiet the last few weeks for the Patriots. We expect the Patriots to come out here and knock the snot out of the Chargers. I understand Jim Harbaugh is a fantastic coach, and he will have his guys ready to play. So does Vrabel, right? So we got 2 great coaches. I think we got 2 really good run defenses here. I think the difference is the Patriots passing offense should be able to take advantage of some spots. Patriots, money line first quarter. Patriots, money line first half. Patriots -3 for the game. We did get it off that 3.5 number and went to 3. Patriots, Chargers over 7.5 first quarter, 22.5 first half, 45.5 of the game. I expect this game probably to be played. Wouldn't surprise me if we see a 31-20 final played at 51. Just because I think the Patriots are going to get up early, and all of a sudden Chargers, they'll start playing prevent defense, which will allow some scores late. Demario Douglas, 20-plus receiving yards. Quentin Johnson, 17-plus receiving yards in the first half. Keenan Allen, under 15.5 yards, longest reception. Henderson for the Patriots, 10-plus receiving yards. Derwin James, under 6.5 tackles and assists. Travion Henderson, 2-plus receptions. I think both quarterbacks are going to throw a pick. Justin Herbert for a pick, Drake May for a pick. Drake May, 31-plus pass attempts. Drake May for 272-plus passing and rushing yards combined. It should be probably the game I'm looking most forward to over the wild card weekend is going to be the Patriots and the Chargers. All right, let's get to the Monday Night Thriller on ESPN ABC. Texans go to Pittsburgh. So everybody's been bitching about Pittsburgh. They've had all these wild card losses in a row. Now they get a home playoff game, but the problem is they draw the Texans. So the Texans in the last game, this number one defense all season long, all of a sudden the Colts look like they could do no wrong. I expect that defense to be tightened up. Texans favored by 3, 38.5 total in Pittsburgh here. Texans favored on the road. The 4 and 5 seed, going at it here. Texans miss out because the Jags just finished super strong. But the Texans were 5 and 3 on the road. The question is, for me, both offensive lines, in my opinion, suck. Right? And normally you don't see great playoff teams that have questionable offensive lines. C.J. Stroud seems to be running for his life constantly. They can't run the ball extremely well. The same thing's over on the Pittsburgh side. They don't run the ball extremely well, at least yards per carry. And Aaron Rodgers is running around for his life a lot. So both offensive lines, not that good. The defense, the Texans defense is definitely better in this one as well. So I don't know how you kind of get away from the Texans. I'd like to see the Steelers win a home playoff game too, but money talks, right? So we're going to take the 3 out of play here. We're just going to play the money line, a little bit of juice, but we're going to be just fine there. Texans money line first quarter, money line first half, money line for the game. Also going to play that under 38.5 is defense's rule here. Texans Steelers under 7.5 first quarter, 19.5 first half, 38.5 for the game. Jaylen Warren under 69.5 rushing and receiving yards. Jaylen Warren for 2+ catches, though. Hutchinson for the Texans, 2+ receptions with still plus money for just 2 catches. Nico Collins should see a majority of the work for the receivers on both sides of both teams. 70+ receiving yards for Nico. DK Metcalf under 55.5 receiving yards. He comes back from the suspension. Freiermuth under 5.5 receiving yards first quarter. I don't think he's caught a first quarter pass, and I want to say 8 to 10 games. So I don't know why they'd all of a sudden be looking for him in the first quarter. DK Metcalf under 4.5 receptions, and a line that I thought was pretty big. Kenneth Gainwell under 5.5 receptions. It's a lot of receptions for a back. You're talking Christian McCaffrey territory on that one, just quite a bit there. All right, that's going to be a rundown of our bets for NFL Wildcard Weekend on the 6 games we got going on. 2 Saturday, 3 Sunday, 1 Monday night. And then we get into the divisional round games after that where the number 1 seeds finally have to come on and play. If you like the content you're seeing here, do us a favor, like, share it with somebody comment, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. All that stuff doesn't cost you a penny. Just shows a lot of appreciation for the creators. Also, all of our episodes here on YouTube brought to you by the world's number 1 sports betting app, Outlier. You can get a 7-day free trial of Outlier by hitting the link in the comment section or on our YouTube channel page. Also, private Discord channel to get all of our bets early, to get all of our unit sizes, to get bets when we don't have shows as well. Plus, we don't put out when WNBA season. That's all for the Discord. Formula One, we don't have a public show for that either. That's all for the Discord. Golf, same thing. So there are a lot of advantages to getting the Discord. besides getting everything early to get ahead of line moves and juice moves. Join a couple 100+ members who love the same thing you do, sports wagering. You'll find that link in the comments section of this episode as well on the YouTube channel page. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.